Hello and welcome to the Weirding Hour, my little croissants. It's Bothwell. I'm back again. Hello. In my favourite role, my favourite new role as host, which means I won't be telling you a story today, but I will be dictating how the others tell you stories today and listening to those. So I'm very excited. Today we will be talking about taking to the skies.
Woo.
Stories that take place in the skies, or if somebody's managed to misinterpret the homework, taking place somewhere else. Who knows? Let's find out.
Misinterpret or
crafts-
deliberately not obey?
Just not do the homework, I feel. In terms of crafting, we are going to be making a sock puppets.
I'm so excited for this because sock puppets are inherently so cursed.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how haunted all of our sock puppets look.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't tuned into the Weirding Hour, we are the Weirding Hour. We talk about weird things, we make weird crafts. That is the gist. So you should probably subscribe, rate, review, all of that jazz. We'll remind you again at the end, don't worry. Trigger warnings for today. There will be socks. So if you don't like them, this is not the one for you.
Sock off.
Yeah, get out of here,
Ooh-wee.
you barefoot weirdos.
Because today we've got socks appeal.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm not sorry. Okay, so first up, I think we have. Oh, I didn't introduce you guys. Like I give a fuck you're here.
Yeah.
Bothwell's back, bitches. Who else is on the podcast today?
I'm Mimi.
I'm Rhea.
I'm Nina.
Oh.
Oh,
dear. She fell down a well of misery. Excellent. Well, do you know what? As you sound so fucking cheery, let's start with you, Nina. Tell us a story about the skies.
I am actually cheery because I've already started making my sock puppet and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. But I suppose
it's a lost art form.
I will interrupt that to tell you about my man, Mr. Larry Walters.
Ooh.
Or are you
I have
dating
no idea who
someone?
that is.
No.
Don't date someone called Larry Walters. He
Dude.
sounds bland. Sorry, Larrys of the world.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Soz. This guy is not bland. This guy's a fucking legend. So
Tell us.
he is also known as Lawn Chair Larry.
That doesn't make him any more interesting.
How mysterious of him. Well, wait for me to just give you my little introductory few lines. He was a truck driver who lived in California with his fiancée, and he often spent time relaxing in his lawn chair, gazing up at the planes passing overhead. He had dreams of becoming a pilot since he was a child, and he did try and join the Air Force, but unfortunately he could not fly because he had poor eyesight.
Oh,
That's
a little bit
Larry.
sunshine.
That's such a Larry thing to do, you know.
Do I have poor eyesight?
Classic
just-
Larry.
Be a truck driver sitting in your lawn chair so much that you get the nickname Lawn Chair Larry.
Yeah, it's right up there with like Linoleum Larry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is
So
he lying?
That's pretty intense. Oh gosh, that I got a bit
So-
like
so intense, yeah.
heart-wrenching there. It's a bit intense.
Linoleum is emotive.
So that's not actually why his nickname is Lawn Chair Larry. I tricked you and I fooled
Oh my-
you.
You lied
You
to us.
liar.
The reveal is coming.
Okay.
So he dreamed of becoming a pilot. He had poor eyesight, but that didn't stop him dreaming. He first thought of using weather balloons to fly when he saw them hanging from the ceiling of a store when he was 13 years old.
What's a
Oh,
weather balloon,
Larry.
please?
A really big, tough balloon.
That tells you the weather?
I think it's one that you can send them up with weather measuring instruments, is what I'm assuming. So it was on the ceiling of a military surplus store. So I don't know,
Alright.
maybe they do other stuff.
Yeah, I just thought we all went there to get our combat boots and army pants.
It's
Yeah.
weird to me the things you guys question that I just accept. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
weather balloon, cool. It's a big balloon.
Yep. I'm really dumb, so just bear that in mind for the rest
No,
of the
no,
story.
I think it's okay to not know what a weather balloon is.
Okay.
I don't think it is.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
just
fired.
Coming down hard on
Yeah, apparently so.
Do you know what it is, Ria?
Yeah.
Care to enlighten us?
She's like, no, if you want to know, find out yourselves.
No, I haven't a fucking clue.
So
Tell us more of this story, because I feel
That
like
was-
Larry's, yeah.
he saw some big fucking balloons in a shop when he was 13, and he dreamt of flying
A
with
weather
them.
balloon.
And at age 33, he decided he wasn't going to let his dreams be dreams no more. And
Oh, I
he
think-
built himself a homemade airship.
Yeah, I think Larry's dead now.
He might be.
Okay. Cool. So he built an airship out of a weather balloon?
No, not
Oh.
just a weather balloon.
Built
He
one.
built one. He bought 45 of them, and
Oh,
they are 8 foot wide.
Oh, Larry, Larry,
That's-
Larry.
Honestly, though, that sounds fucking cool.
I know! This guy's a legend. So he also bought a number of helium tanks, which he had to forge a form from his employer to get them, because I think you can't just buy that amount of helium if you're just a person. He worked for some film
Just a lawn chair
studios,
and booze.
so he forged it saying that the balloons were for a TV commercial.
Did Larry work in TV? I thought he was a truck driver.
Well, his employer was Filmfare Studios, so I assume he was a truck driver for the studios.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
But it was like a requisition form, so I'm guessing he just said, "Yeah, we need these, so can we have them?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." So, on the 2nd of July, 1982, Larry attached 43 of the 45 balloons to his lawn chair, and he filled them up with helium. He added some jugs of water around the bottom for ballast, because he's the amazing scientist he sounds to be. He put on a parachute and he strapped himself into his lawn chair. And with him, he took his pellet gun, a CB radio, sandwiches, beer, and a camera.
Oh, Larry.
He's so cute. Take a little picnic and a beer and a
that
camera.
is cute.
Gonna have a lovely little picnic journey.
I'm gonna put forward that I don't think it was just Larry's eyesight that was the cause of him not being a pilot, given that he packed beer, sandwiches, and some jugs of water for his homemade chair of death.
You might get hungry.
Yeah.
I feel like a
always gotta pack
sandwich
snacks.
is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So his intention was to float over the Mojave Desert and use his pellet gun to burst some of the balloons so that he could land.
Ah,
He's got a plan, guys. Come on.
he is a man with a plan.
That's
Not a good one, but it's there.
as far as he planned. So his friends cut the cord tying his lawn chair to his Jeep.
Oh.
Rose rapidly to a height of about 16,000 feet,
Oh.
which is 3 miles.
Ah,
Oh, Larry.
imagine being his friends, like, bye, Larry. Yeah, we'll cut you free. No worries.
Forever.
Bye.
So Larry's desired altitude was about 30 feet, but he hadn't bothered to calculate how many balloons he'd need to achieve that.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Larry.
He entered some airspace because he was that fucking high. He got really fucking cold, and he was way too scared to burst any of the balloons because he was really fucking high. Physically, possibly.
Yeah.
Also.
When he had this idea, I feel he might have been other kinds of high as well.
So he drifted slowly across the main approach corridor of Long Beach Airport
Oh,
and
fuck.
was spotted from 2 commercial airliners. Imagine you're going on holiday, you just see some fucking bloke in a lawn chair next to you.
Oh, it's a weird episode of the Twilight Zone.
Isn't it though?
So he did have a radio with him, remember? So he was in contact with REACT, which was a citizens band radio monitoring organization. So, you know, some people just love radios. It's a hobby. Some people just sit on them listening to what they can hear. So this service recorded their conversation, and I've got a little snippet. So they asked, "What information do you wish me to tell the airport at this time as to your location and your difficulty?" And Larry replied, The difficulty is this was an unauthorized balloon launch, and I know
Yeah,
I'm
no
in a
shit.
federal airspace, and I'm sure my ground crew has alerted the proper authority, but just call them and tell them I'm okay. My ground crew,
Your mates.
Yeah.
they snip some cords. They just untied your balloons.
You know who I'm imagining is the group of friends from Hot Rod? That is what I am imagining from the ground crew. Just a bunch of people in their own lawn chairs wearing
Yeah,
caps. and
yeah.
beer.
I kind of had like a Wayne's World feel to it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that vibe.
So, after about 45 minutes in the sky, he realized he was heading quite quickly towards the Pacific Ocean. So, he overcame his fears, and even though he was very numb from the cold, he did manage to shoot several balloons. Then he accidentally dropped his pellet gun overboard.
Oh,
Oh, Larry.
oh, Butterfingers.
Oh, buttery Larry.
See, this is why you don't have beer when you're floating 3 miles above the earth on a lawn chair full of balloons.
Yeah, I suspect it's because he was probably so cold he couldn't hold it, but it is slightly funnier to imagine that he just was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Oh,
Shouldn't have had that last Stella.
But fortunately, he had shot enough balloons that he began to descend. And
Okay.
he did come down to the ground until the balloon's dangling cables got caught in a power line.
Oh. Oh no.
The power line broke, which caused a 20-minute electricity blackout in the local area, and he somehow landed unharmed on the ground
No way! Oh, I so thought Larry was going to be toast.
to an
Same.
audience of people like staring in bewilderment and kind of clapping at him, and also the police.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
fair.
He was arrested immediately by waiting members of the police department, and a regional safety inspector was reported to have said, "We know he broke some part of the Federal Aviation Act, and as soon as we decide which part it is, some type of charge will be filed.
Hilarious.
If he had a pilot's license, we'd suspend that, but he doesn't." Fucking rub it into poor Lazar.
Oh, as.
So he was initially fined £4,000 for violations under US federal aviation regulations, including operating an aircraft within an airport traffic area without establishing and maintaining two-way communications with the control tower. He appealed and the fine was reduced to $1,500. Did I say pounds? I said
what?
pounds earlier, didn't I?
Doesn't matter. On what
I'm
grounds?
sorry. You've just like massively fucked up. You've got the airspace, you've taken out power lines, and you're gonna appeal.
I
the fucking
imagine
fine.
it was on just like nitpicking. So it's operating an aircraft. I don't know if that thing is specified as an aircraft. I guess it is, but also without establishing and maintaining two-way communications. He did have some communications, two-way communications, just not with the control tower. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not American.
Thank God.
I genuinely don't understand. Like at that point, you'd be like, "Oh, it's a fair cop, gov," instead of, "No, actually, I think you'll find I technically had a hand radio."
I mean, check in with your ground crew. You should have just put that. I had a ground crew. Don't worry about it.
And another charge of operating a civil aircraft for which there is not currently in effect an airworthiness certificate was dropped, as it was not applicable to his class of aircraft.
Class?
Oh,
Is a lawn chair a class of aircraft? I don't think it is.
I think once it takes to the skies, I think it is. That is a
I'm
craft.
I'm in the
Yeah.
air.
Boom.
Mate, got a point there. You should be the lawyer.
Well,
You should be on the prosecuting team. So just after landing, he spoke to the press saying, "It was something I had to do. I had this dream for 20 years, and if I hadn't done it, I think I would have ended up in the funny farm."
Where does he think he's going now?
Yeah.
And the aircraft was dubbed Inspiration 1 and was later donated to the Smithsonian Museum to be displayed.
well, that's brilliant. That's exactly where it should be.
Yeah, it probably should, to be fair.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There is some further stuff about Lawn Chair Larry. I'm not going to go into it about his later life because it's not
What else
not-
did he
it's not as cheerful as that.
do?
Oh, what happened to Larry?
Oh no, we're not going into that. If you want to know more, I'll put a link to the
Yes, please.
YouTube video that goes into more detail on it.
I think I know.
But also, he also inspired a load of copycat people,
Ugh.
which I'm also not going to go into. There's a load on the Wikipedia page if you want to have a look, but they mainly are just some people did it and died, and some people did it and survived.
The end.
So, yeah. So I thought I want to talk about the man, the inspiration, the legend that is Lawn
The
Chair
legend,
Larry,
the launcher.
living his best life up in the sky, flying so high, looking down on all his fucking normies below.
It could
With
have
his
gone
sandwich and his
really
beer.
wrong. It could have
It
gone
did go
so-
really wrong.
No, no,
He just managed to survive somehow.
no. It could, like, imagine if he being 3 miles high. Imagine if he'd somehow drifted into like a plane's freaking what are those whizzy things called? Like the fan
Oh
bit.
yeah, he was in the like path of
Yeah.
planes for an airport.
And he could have like brought those down or been taken down by them. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
He dropped his fucking gun, man. His one way of getting down. He could have fallen out that lawn chair. I bet
Oh,
Larry didn't tie
Larry.
himself in that chair. Also, he had a parachute when he was planning to go 30 feet high in the air, which wouldn't work. Absolutely wouldn't work. You have to be above a certain height for any parachute to work. But when he was above that height, didn't use it.
Absolutely beautiful. He had a
Fucking-
parachute.
Lazar, you legend.
Oh.
Was it a parachute? I bet it was a fucking knapsack with an umbrella in it. I'll just Mary Poppins myself down from my aircraft. It's
Not even
cool.
Not even an actual umbrella, just like a cocktail umbrella. It is beer.
But like 400 of them.
It's like up.
Yeah, it is. It's not as endearing as Up. You know, little old man in his flying house in memory of his wife versus Larry Lawn Chair and his
I love Larry.
canistella.
Larry over the man from Up. Fuck you, grumpy man from Up. Larry, you fucking live your dream.
I mean, all right. I'm going to go look up all the stuff he did after that you don't want to tell us about.
It's not. He didn't do any fun stuff after.
Is he just going to be Larry Letdown?
It's a bit sad. He like thought he could get famous off the press attention and quit his job and struggle to find work and
Oh.
yeah. So that's why I didn't want to end it on that bummer. One of the people who was inspired though did recreate the house from Up with balloons.
Oh.
Recreate
That's
that.
cute.
So maybe look at that if you want to. I didn't look at that because I don't care for Up personally.
Yeah.
There you go. Lawn Chair Lazar.
Yeah, enjoyed. Well done. Nice. Lawn Chair Larry
Loved it.
was a
The legend. The Lawn Chair.
the legend Lawn Chair. Yes. Okay, so that was good. What do we have after Larry Lawn Chair? We have Rhea. Rhea, tell us about Adrian Air Pilot. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I won't tell you about Adrian Air Pilot, even though that obviously sounds like a fantastic name. And if I were to have a child, that is what I would call them.
Adrian Air
Is-
Pilot.
Are you
AA for short.
changing your child's surname to Air Pilot, or is that their middle name?
It's their
Should
double
be
barrel
one-
first name.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not posh enough to even recognize double barrel first names.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry.
not a thing, I
I'm
don't
sorry.
think.
Please stop. Double barrel last names are posh.
Oh, right, yeah.
Double barrel first names are
Not
pure
a
white
thing.
trash.
Rhea
Mm.
Beth.
Oh, that's true, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Rhea has a double barrel first name, guys.
I
Do
do.
you?
Yeah.
Are you
Shut
Rhea
up.
Beth?
I am.
Rhea Beth. She's
Rhea Beth, you get back in your room.
fully redneck. As
Please
if she
tell me
has
that's
her own
true.
room. It is
See,
true.
That is actually your name.
Yes. Rhea
Your name
Elizabeth.
is. You are never gonna be just Rhea again. Soz.
Rhea Beth.
Fantastic. Rhea
Because
Beth.
my grandma is Ruby Jean, my mum is Nancy Jean, and I am Rhea Elizabeth, which would be, if I guess I was raised in the South, would be Rhea Beth.
I love it so
Also-
much.
Just fully doxing yourself.
And
Yeah.
I live at.
Yeah, this is my mum's full name and date of birth.
This is
Oh
my
no,
current address.
they'll never find it because
They'll never find me.
they'll never find me alive. Um,
She's got her escape launcher ready to go.
It's a lawn chair with balloons tied to it.
oh my god, I honestly I love that idea so fucking much.
You say that, but you looked so terrified, horrified the whole time I was
I was
talking.
going to say, how
Yes,
did you
it
just go terrified?
I was trying to think of the word horrified.
I was
Terrified.
horrified because I thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
I was very much like, oh motherfucker.
Same.
And I was
always
very
always gotta give you a twist
yeah,
there.
I know. I really was just like, like I hate when people just do something so fucking stupid. It's so enormously stupid, and they just didn't realize how fucking stupid it was, and now they're dead.
Yeah. It's like the Darwin Awards. They're not really fun.
No.
He did actually, I don't know if it was posthumously or just a lot, like 10 years after the fact or whatever, he was awarded a like Darwin Survivors Award.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, but so he is dead.
Well, yeah, this happened in
Now.
1982 when he was 33. Also, I told you had a tragic ending. Can we stop bringing it up?
Right, it's
No.
my turn. Let's
If
stop.
you want to know
talking-
about it, look at
let's-
the sources.
Stop
All right.
talking about that guy, and let's start talking about my guy.
All right.
Yeah.
You tell us about your guy, mate.
Okay, so I suspect that a lot of people will have heard about this one. Have you guys heard of DB Cooper?
I have heard of the name.
Yeah, the name rings a bell weirdly, but I want
I
to.
don't remember the
No.
story.
Okay, well let me tell you DB's story. So, let's go back in time. It's November 24th in 1971. It's Thanksgiving Eve, guys.
Sorry.
Is that the music? And
That was my
1971.
70s disco groove.
It's appropriate. It is appropriate. And a man arrives at the flight counter of Northwest Orient Airlines at Portland International Airport. And he's carrying a black attaché case. I don't know if that's how you say attaché. Attaché? Attaché.
Is that
Gesundheit.
is that a brand or just a style?
I think it's
material?
a style of suitcase. I think it's
Ah.
like I'd like you to think of the black suitcases that they normally have in like heist films. I think it's like that.
Dope.
Oh.
Briefcase.
Well, yeah, maybe. I didn't look it up, guys. This is not the important part of the story.
Tell me
Uh,
about
With the
his luggage.
balloons.
How much did it weigh?
Anyway, moving swiftly on. He's got a black case, all right? It's a briefcase, it's black. He's holding it. So he arrives at the flight counter and he's all like, hey, I need to buy a one-way ticket to Seattle. And they're all like, motherfucker, you've got one. So he uses cash. That's how we talk in the 70s. That's how these conversations go.
Yeah.
You've never bought tickets before?
In the
don't-
70s, no.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't either. So who can tell if I'm lying? And he has identified himself at that point as Dan Cooper. He's Dan Cooper. He's buying a one-way ticket, and it's a 30-minute trip to Seattle. So everyone who's meant to go on this aircraft gets on the aircraft. Cooper boards, and he either takes seat 18C or 18E or even possibly 15D. We just don't know.
Whew.
Differing accounts exist.
Okay. Land.
Anyway, he orders a drink, a bourbon and soda. And
Ooh.
that's it, the end.
Yes.
It's just a man taking a flight.
The flight went swimmingly. He left at Seattle. No. Um, so at some point during the flight, after it's departed, this is 2:50 p.m. He's asked for his bourbon and soda, and then he looks at one of the flight attendants, who is Florence Schaffner, and he gives her a note. And she's all like, "Oh, why do these fucking businessmen keep hitting on me?" And just puts the note in her purse. She's like, yeah,
Legend.
okay. So Dan Cooper leans forward and says, whispers in fact, because you don't want to alarm anyone, "Miss, you better take a look at that note. I have a bomb."
Oh.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Shit.
Wait, is that another hit up line?
I got a bomb.
In my pants.
That's right. You better take a look.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So then she was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, maybe I'll look at the note." She looks at the note, and he'd written in all capital letters with a felt tip pen. I'm not
Boomer.
sure exactly what he'd written, but it
Oh, did he just
Well-
write? I'm gonna guess he just wrote bomb.
yeah, it mentions that he has a bomb.
No, that's all it says.
Bomb.
Bomb. So yeah, well, because they don't actually know exactly what the note said because she gave it back to him.
No, I don't want to.
No thanks.
This is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not keen, thank you. And he, but I think the note directs her to go and sit next to him. It's like, damn, it's really hitting on her quite hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, she goes and sits beside him, and she's all like, "Can I see the bomb, please?"
Ria, is this you
The
know
porno.
Is this a porno? Is
You
this
get your
it's the 70s?
Get your
Bam,
70s music
bam,
on.
chicka, wah, wah.
That's such a big bomb.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you want
If
to show
people die,
everyone? Yeah, exactly.
if people die, we're gonna feel really bad.
Well, let's just keep moving on. So apparently at this point he does open his briefcase, and lets her see what's in there, which is apparently 8 red cylinders with wires attached to it,
Okay.
and then closes the briefcase. So
It
this
wasn't just
could,
on his lap with a hole in it.
yeah,
It's a dick
exactly.
in a box.
Yeah, the final red cylinder was just his penis.
Oh. No, though.
So yes, it's not his dick. It's 8 red cylinders. But like
What a sentence.
we've no way of knowing if it was a real bomb or like anything like this. Anyway, she's all like, "Oh, that's not good." So he closes the briefcase, and then he states that he demands $200,000 in negotiable American currency.
Is that it?
Yeah. What?
No,
what does
hold
that
on.
mean?
Hold on. He also requests 4 parachutes, 2 primary and 2 reserve, and for a fuel truck to be standing by in Seattle to refuel the aircraft upon arrival. So Schaffner gives Cooper's instructions to the pilots, and I don't know why this note is particularly important, but it was written on the page. When she returns, Cooper is wearing dark sunglasses.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
'Cause he's fucking cool dude, man.
Oh, so cool.
Why didn't he just rob a bank?
I don't know. I don't
'Cause he's
know.
cool.
Yeah, he is pretty cool.
I mean,
So the captain does then contact Seattle Tacoma Airport and is all like, "Yeah, we're delayed. There's been a minor technical difficulty," which I think is him being sarcastic. And the Northwest Orient's president, Donald Nierup, authorized a payment of the ransom and ordered all employees to cooperate fully with Cooper's demands. So everyone was just like sitting pretty for about 2 hours or whatever. whilst the aircraft circled before they got to the demands and then landed at Seattle. So they landed, they refuel, and at this point, a flight attendant, Tina Mucklow, described him. Oh, this is the worst. He wasn't nervous. He seemed rather nice. He was never cruel or nasty. He was thoughtful and calm all the time.
Thoughtful.
Yeah.
So compassionate, this dude.
Yeah.
Tina,
So-
get some self-esteem.
Well, I know, right? But he was asked, so I think he's gotten really like chatty with the crew in this time. But like Tina asked him if he had a grudge against Northwest Airlines, and he replied, "I don't have a grudge against your airline, miss. I just have a grudge." You know, he's misunderstood.
He sounds sexy. He sounds mysterious.
Like I said to Tina, Nina, you need to get some self-respect. He does not sound sexy.
Yeah.
I just have a grudge.
He sounds like a
so hot.
tool.
So
Oof.
hot. Like that's all we need, guys. Just a misunderstood
A
man.
dysfunctional dude.
Yeah.
Never finish a sentence with
Never.
context.
Never.
Keep being mysterious.
So FBI agents showed up and they brought the ransom money, and they also collected together money that basically had serial numbers beginning with the letter L, so that they could hopefully like try and recognize that lot later.
Smart.
And they made a microfilm photograph of each of the $20 bills that were assembled. Dan Cooper also rejected the military issue parachutes that they offered, and he instead took civilian parachutes with manually operated ripcords.
Well, I mean, why not?
So he's got it now. It's been put on the plane, and his demands have been met. The flight has been refueled, and they take off. So all of the passengers have got off. So it's only a few crew at this point. So like the pilots and a few flight attendants. So Cooper gives them demands on how he wants the flight to be. So he says that he wants the landing gear to remain deployed in takeoff landing position, and he wants the wing flaps lowered at 15 degrees, and he wants the cabin to remain unpressurized.
Oh.
Does he only want the blue M&Ms as well?
Yeah.
What a diva.
Yeah.
He knows his shit though about planes, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Those all sound like bad things. They sound like things you should have.
Well,
That's what he's trying to do.
Did he also remove the phalanges?
yeah, he removed the phalanges. No. So they take off with the landing gear and the rear exit door open with its staircase extended. So Northwest was like, we don't really want you to do that. That sounds shit. He was like, no, it's fine. We're going to do it. So
Is this word for word?
This is from the black box recording.
So yeah, they're in the air, and it's approximately 7:40 p.m. And without Cooper knowing, two F-106 fighter aircraft have followed behind the airliner out of Cooper's view, apparently. So they're trying to follow the plane to make sure that they can, fucking deal with whatever it is he's going to do.
Two fighter jets just sneaking along behind.
Yeah, exactly. You would never have guessed they were there. So, anyway, after they've taken off, some time passes, and Cooper's all like, "Yeah, you guys stay up in the cockpit. Nobody come back here, okay? Stay away." So at around 8 p.m., a warning light flashes in the cockpit, indicating that the aft air stair apparatus has been activated. And then the pilots in the cabin got on the intercom to Cooper and were like, "Do you need some assistance?" And Cooper was like, "No." And
Told you to stay in the cabin, bitch.
But literally, the last message they heard from him was no.
Right.
And then he no.
And then the crew soon noticed a subjective change in air pressure, indicating that the aft door was open and that at approximately 8:13 p.m., the aircraft's tail section sustained a sudden upward movement large enough to require trimming to bring the plane back to level flight. And when they landed at approximately 10:15 p.m., the air stair was still deployed and DB Cooper was no longer on board.
No.
So he yeeted himself out the back.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Fantastic.
How fucking heavy was he that they had to counteract the fact he jumped out?
I don't know.
I do not have his weight.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Information is not available at this time. So yeah, like they tried then to be like, okay, well then we've got to try and find him. So the FBI agents went through, they tried to find fingerprints on the airliner. They did find his black clip-on tie, his tie clip, and 2 of the 4 parachutes.
Clip-on tie.
Mhm.
Fucking loser.
Well, he was dressed nicely, basically.
Clip-on, no. Trash.
I'm so sorry. Some of us didn't learn how to tie bow ties.
Oh.
To balls when we were younger.
Literally never been to a ball in my life.
No. So the 2 parachutes that had been left, one had been opened and 2 shroud lines had been cut from it. And people interviewed eyewitnesses in Portland. They made composite sketches of him, but they just were not finding him. Initially on their investigations, they did find a record of a man in Oregon with the name DB Cooper, but actually the guy who showed up at the airport had introduced himself as Dan Cooper, and so DB Cooper was not this guy. It was a completely different guy. But a reporter had reported DB Cooper in the newspaper because they were just trying to get their article in quickly. So ever since then, this guy has been referred to as DB Cooper, even though he was Dan Cooper.
I bet he was
No
fucking
way.
stoked about that. Bet it was like, they haven't even got my fake name right.
Yeah, I know, right?
I bet DB Cooper was not stoked about it.
Yeah.
Well, quite. So they still can't find him.
They're still
And-
looking.
Well, they were right up until 2016, until
He stole $2,000.
200,000.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Every time that they've tried to investigate it, initially they also got the flight path wrong. So where they thought he left, he hadn't. So they'd been looking in the wrong place. Then when they kind
Genius.
of figured out where the right place might be, they still didn't find anything, any record of him. They tried to go off clues because, yeah, it did seem a little bit like he did know about planes and parachutes. But one of the weird things about what he did that night, you know, not just rejecting the military parachutes, but also one of the parachutes he was given was actually a dummy parachute that had been sewn closed
What?
because it was from a skydiving school. So like it was a dummy parachute. It was, I guess, just to like show weight or something. And he used that one. It was a reserve one. He used one that also did work. He took 2 with him, but one of the ones he took with him definitely didn't work.
Did they do
Oh,
that on
dear.
purpose?
No,
Are they?
no,
They're
that-
not allowed to do that, right? Because that's literally just murder.
Yeah, no, that was a mistake. They did not intend to do that.
Okay. I don't know. If that's reassuring. or
American
not.
police trying to murder people?
Mm.
What?
Yeah, well, and murdering people by mistake. And they asked the people in the planes following behind if they'd seen anything exit the plane, but they hadn't seen anything once. They never saw a parachute open. So it was at night. There was limited visibility, but it's just really
And his parachute was sewn shut.
One of
Where
them.
the reserve one was.
Yeah, like, yeah, there's lots of not good things going on. So they put out lists of the money that had been collected for the ransom, all of the serial numbers, to see if people would maybe find those, hand those in. No one ever did. There was a small amount of the ransom money found in a river near where the drop site might have been, but it was like 2 little packets. It was water logged. It had clearly been moved by the river, so it could have been dropped anywhere. It wasn't touched by human hands. So
Do you have
Wow.
a theory about what happened? Because
there
I
are
do.
loads
Yeah.
of
Me too.
theories. There are so many theories. I'd say most people think that Dan Cooper jumped to his death.
Yeah.
100%.
Some people think he survived. Some people have confessed to being Dan Cooper on their deathbeds. Even if he was still alive, it wouldn't do him any good to come forward, because the courts decided that there would be no statute of limitations on this crime.
Oh, why?
So I don't know.
It
I
was fucking
don't know.
weird.
I
But
don't know.
murder, fine. Wait, is there a
Yeah.
statute of limitations on murder?
I don't know.
I think so.
But yeah, they took the time in court to bother deciding this
Yeah.
over a crime where literally no one has been found. No money has ever surfaced. No
And
body.
no one was injured.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
but the money, guys.
It's not even that much money.
I mean,
Maybe it was just to like stop people trying
Yeah.
to copy
They're
it.
like,
because...
he took our doll hairs and we don't like it, so we're gonna get him.
yeah. So on Wikipedia, there's like a huge list of suspects or people who've gone ahead and confessed to it. And they include random people talking about their uncle, having gone out one night and coming back with a bit of blood on him and suddenly coming into some money. But since this money was never recorded as spent, I think their stories are bullshit. And there are a few like writers who've written books who think it was survivable, because in World War II, some pilots survived just as adverse conditions. But, they'd had a lot of training, so I don't know. Also chance, also just so many things would have to go right for him to have survived that. Oh yeah, the suggestion also was that the guy called himself Dan Cooper because of these comic books where the hero is called Dan Cooper and is a paratrooper and does lots of parachuting and stuff like that. So
Dan
it fit-
Cooper, the paratrooper.
yeah, so it could also have been like a little bit of like fantasy wish fulfillment, trying to become the hero of your own story. And then there's some suggestions that the guy known as Dan Cooper might have worked as a mechanic, because there were certain chemicals found on that black tie that may have suggested that he was working in a factory that worked with metals and blah blah blah. But there's just nothing clear. There's no satisfying conclusion. People are still searching today, but the case has been closed. But if anyone comes up with any more information, they will, take it. But yeah, the end. Who the fuck was DB Cooper, and why did he jump off a plane in the middle of the fucking night in rain in the middle of nowhere with a Duff parachute and a possible working one?
I would like to know. I'd really like to know.
DB Cooper, if you're listening, please do give us a call. We'd like to find out. Actually, you can get us at the Weirding Hour. We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Tell us
If we
how
DM
you
us.
did it.
I feel like it would really help with our subscriber count.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we got the DB Cooper on. Come on, do us a solid, DB.
Also, I think we should call him Dan because that's what he called himself.
Because that's what he wants to be called. I think he's probably dead. So
I also think that he is probably dead.
if
I
you're
just
listening
really
from
want him to be
beyond the
Barbara.
grave, that will do us even better
Ooh.
for content.
It's true.
But contact Ria, because I don't want to.
Yeah, email me at I'm a ghost at
At RiaBeth.com.
yeah. So the end.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Thank you for giving us mystery.
Yeah, you're
sorry.
welcome. You sound
And-
pleased.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Nemo, please tell us a story
Yeah.
that has a solid ending.
Oh, it absolutely has a literally solid ending.
Oh no. Have we left the depressing one till last again?
I'm actually gonna. Yeah, we have. And I've got more than one, and I'm kind of gonna talk around the subject first before I dip into the specific stories. But I'm gonna be talking about the freaking gnarly hobby of base jumping.
Oh, shit, son!
Oh.
I would actually love to do this, but still.
Uh,
I know I'd
okay,
die
well,
immediately.
listen to this first.
It's like the highest
It's the most.
Death
It's
rate.
literally the most
dangerous
dangerous.
sport.
Yeah.
But it's the closest you would ever get to fly, like actually flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I
Dying.
don't
Yeah.
want to
Death.
die. It would also get you the closest you can to dying.
Yeah. Flying and
Yeah.
dying. They should rename it.
Flying and dying. And there are precautions that you could take, Bothwell. So I'm going to be talking about what makes base jumping particularly dangerous. So you can
Yes.
take this. I mean, jumping off stuff. Number
Yeah,
one.
Joe
dangerous
100% won't
stuff.
let me.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be allowed by Joe or us. I don't think we would let you do it. We're not going to be
No,
like
there's
lawn chair Larry's ground crew. Like, yeah, Bothwell, sure, jump.
We'll cut the
Why
rope.
not?
I'd be like, I
Yeah.
have my wingsuit, I have some tinnies, and I have packed a sandwich. I am ready to go.
and I would knock you the fuck out and lock you in a cellar.
Okay. But I mean, is that
Then
anything
you would
to do
be
with what we're,
safe.
is that anything to do with what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
Related or
You know.
Whereas like we've all got to have hobbies, guys.
And some people have the hobby of falling to their deaths. Sometimes not. So do you guys know what BASE stands for? It's an acronym.
Oh, no.
So it is anything that they jump off. So buildings, antennas, spans, which basically is anything that
bridges.
bridges, anything that spans, and
Satellites.
the E literally stands for Earth, and that's what most people do. It's like cliff jumping.
I don't know if I cut out so you didn't hear me, but I said satellites and you agreed.
Yeah, satellites, sure. Well, Larry Launcher is probably up there preparing for a base
Yeah.
jump of a satellite. So yeah, basically anything that's jumping off a fixed object instead of out of a plane. So the mortality rate is about 1 in 2,000, which is nearly 50 times higher than parachuting from a plane.
That doesn't
And
sound
That's not that bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, jumping out of a regular plane is 1 in 100,000. Like of dying, and people do like hundreds of jumps in their life. 1 in
Just do one.
2,000.
Just do
Just
one.
do one.
That's what they're doing wrong.
Some of these guys they do just do one, Nina.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
no.
no.
So dark already.
1 in
It's-
100,000 to jump out a plane sounds quite high.
Yeah.
Oh my god, high, low, which is it?
That sounds high.
Well, maybe you should check my sources.
I will look on Wikipedia after this.
Because I made them up myself.
Because I just picked a number out of the air. Okay, so the mortality rate is 1 in about 16. And
Wait, what?
I'm joking. No, if I wanted to make it sound good, I would have said more than 1 in 2,000.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
But yeah, it's really, really fucking dangerous and hundreds of magnitudes more dangerous than any other extreme sport. So like free diving, helicopter skiing, bullfighting, all of the shit that seems really dangerous. This is like the most dangerous thing you can do.
Helicopter skiing.
Not skiing on helicopters, skiing out
No,
of
that
a
sounds
helicopter.
too dangerous.
No, your skis are the blades of the helicopter.
And I'm just
Strap
spinning around.
Get really dizzy. And just to add, base jumping is also illegal in some places, and a lot of the time, even if the base jumping itself isn't illegal, people are usually trespassing to do the jump.
Climbing up buildings and stuff.
Exactly. So people do it covertly, so they don't have like proper safety checks and like medics and stuff. They do it like under the cover of night.
What's a medic do?
They might go, oh, you.
Well, people
bleeding.
have
Oh,
people have
flat.
you get a lot of concussions where people like strike the side of a cliff. They don't die, or I'll come on to why some people are far more likely to die than others, but there have been lots of survival stories where people have bad concussions or have had to climb out of trees and stuff. It's yeah.
Why does
Just
why
don't
is
do
that
it.
why is that worse to me?
I mean, dead, you're like bang, gone.
Yeah,
Still bang.
pretty much. Bang in the dirt is gone. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Exactly.
Right, I'll
and
stop interrupting you. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you might want to continue to interrupt me because this shit is bananas. They don't have any sort of organizational body. So the jumps aren't approved. No one approves the gear. There's no like organizational body to say, yeah, this type of suit or parachute is okay for this. So it's massively just a law unto itself.
Who makes the suits? People just like make their own.
No, I think there are obviously brands that make them, but there's no like safety testing. So if you wanted to bring a wingsuit to market, Nina, you could go for it. So there you go, it's a business idea. So the one place it is legal is the Alps, and Switzerland has by far the highest number of base jumping deaths by country. And people conduct these base jumps in various ways. Sometimes they would release a parachute on their back, or other times they might be wearing a wingsuit, like the ones that make you look like a cute little flying squirrel.
Yeah.
And as an aside, with base jumping, talking about Dan Cooper with his 2 parachutes, base jumping, you only get 1 parachute because even if you needed or wanted to, you wouldn't have time to cut away the old parachute and deploy a reserve. So you get 1. You either deploy or you die. If you opt for a wingsuit that Nina has made you, the average speed, so not even peak speed, the average speed that you travel over the course of a jump is over 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
Fucking insane.
Stop getting
my God.
excited.
Well, it would.
You wouldn't be able to breathe though with that amount of air coming at your face.
Or somehow they manage it.
Yeah, but have you ever stuck your head out a car window?
No, because I'm not an idiot.
Okay, have you ever skydived? Because you can't breathe during
No.
that either.
Yeah, but you don't die, do you, when you skydive? You just have a great time and then land on the ground.
Huge if true, if every skydive has ever been there.
Yeah, that changes your 1 in 100,000.
It does. Another interesting thing I read about was glide ratio. So for every 3 feet you travel forward in the dive, you free fall 1 foot. So you're also like propelled forward in trajectory, like horizontally, a ton as well. So imagine like tracking that and being able to land somewhere and like getting out of the way of trees and stuff. It's just like you have to be so precise with a wingsuit. It's insane. And sometimes none of these things happen correctly and they plummet to their deaths. So in 2016, we had the worst year on record for base jumping deaths. I don't know why I said we, like I'm part of the community. And it was 37 deaths and 20 of them were wingsuit jumps. And before the introduction of wingsuits, you never got more than like 5 deaths a year. They are
That is a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
They are a fucking death trap. Yeah. Their malfunction or misuse of a wingsuit has been reported in nearly half of all base fatalities, which is by far the highest cause. The next closest accounts for like just under a fifth, which is hesitating too long before either pulling your parachute or like pulling up to land. And my last fun wingsuit fact is the fact that the first ever wingsuit jump was done from the Eiffel Tower in 1912.
Amazing.
Do you know this, Nina?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
So
might
this
have watched a documentary about wingsuit jumping or something.
It's so freaking interesting. And
Was
people
this
that
a
do it-
wingsuit though?
It is the first. It was called a wingsuit parachute hybrid. I looked up photos, and this dude Franz Reichelt was testing a new invention for pilots, because obviously at the time parachutes didn't exist like the ones that you wear on your back, and when planes crashed, obviously this is just after the advent of airplanes, that pilots died. So he was like, right, I'm going to invent something to save people's lives. And he fashioned
Noble.
this kind of very noble dude. Met a less noble end.
Oh.
He fashioned this like burlap canopy costume thing out of like pipes and stuff. I will post.
It looks really heavy.
Yeah. I'll post a picture on socials, because it is not what you imagine a dynamic wingsuit to look like, though it was 1912. So he secured this jump off the Eiffel Tower, saying he was going to do it with a dummy, like just put the wingsuit on a dummy. And then he turned up on the day like, no, I'm going to do it myself.
Oh,
And his friends were trying to talk him out of it right up until the point that he did jump. He apparently turned to the crowd, waved, gave a cheery "a bientôt," which is French for "see you soon," and then he jumped. The wingsuit canopy did not open and plummeted to his death.
Oh.
It left a 15-centimeter impact crater in the frozen ground below.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I didn't know that bit.
Yeah. And the whole like, you don't really see much, but there's a film of it, and it's just on the Wikipedia page. So I just opened this shit up and was like, oh, look, there he is jumping off to his death. There he is hitting the ground. And there we are with them, carrying his body off. Because there were loads of people flocked to Paris to watch this dude test his new invention and die before their very eyes.
Could he not have? Right, I don't want to be telling
Here we
him how to
go.
do things. Could he not have jumped off something shorter?
He'd had.
Oh, right. Okay.
So he had tested it. I can't remember how many stories it was, but he tested it on a far smaller building. And he tested kind of a series of jumps with dummies. Though I think I recall reading that he'd not been able to replicate the success of like his first few jumps in the higher ones, which maybe should give you a clue as to whether you should jump off the fucking Eiffel Tower. But yet, white men and their confidence.
Right.
So yeah, you can watch that if you wish. It looks like fake. It didn't feel disturbing to watch. So if you do want to see a silent film of a dude flinging himself off the tower,
plummet to his death.
Yeah,
this is the one.
If you don't go on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Another thing that's also available to watch is the last ever flight of an Italian wingsuiter called Armin Schneider. Doesn't sound a very Italian name, but I'm told that he lived in Germany. And he went by the handle SatDex. And this dude inadvertently broadcast his own death on Facebook Live. The video shows him suiting up, giving the finger to the camera and like grinning and looking all G'd and hyped for his jump. The video goes dark as the phone is put into his wingsuit, so you don't actually see the jump, but you can hear everything. He jumps, you hear this kind of bellow from him, then you hear the impact and silence, some soft moans, and then the only thing you can hear after that is the sounds of the cowbells from the cattle who are walking the kind of idyllic European countryside where he jumped.
Well, I mean, that last bit sounded quite nice.
I mean, the cowbell's beautiful.
But the bit before that where he's moaning.
Yeah, it didn't sound like it was an instant impact.
No.
Despite complaints, the video was up on Facebook for a full 36 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
And they just stuck a warning graphic content sticker on it.
What?
Yep. And the grimly ironic thing that was, for those 36 hours, there was a notification on his feed that read, SatDex was live.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh. So yeah, there you go.
go.
Bothwell, do not go wingsuit jumping
And do not put
Please.
it on Facebook.
Absolutely don't do that. Also, when there's a forum for how to get into wingsuit base jumping particularly,
Oh.
and the first like 4 points of how to get into it are don't do this. You're not the right type of person for it. You are going to ruin your life. And then when you get to step 5, it's like, okay, if you really want to do this, this is how you do it. So yeah, base jumping for you.
Amazing. Thank you, Mimi. That was informative and also upsetting.
That's
You
how
said
I
you-
aim to be.
You did not say you were going to end on a bummer, and then you end on that. That was.
I'm pretty sure
fucking
Mimi did
dark.
say. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
I-
Mimi did say she was ending on a bummer.
Yeah, and also it's dark, but it's I feel like if that's how I died and there was a notification that said I was live, I think that's quite funny.
You'd like it.
I
Guys,
like it.
speaking of total bummers, I have to show you my sock puppet. So,
Oh god.
full
what are you
disclosure,
gonna do
listeners,
with it?
I only tapped into coming into this episode a few hours ago, and upon logging in to do the call, asked what topic they were doing, and also what the craft would be. To which Rhea informed me it would be a sock puppet.
Buffalo's fully part-time, guys. She just turns up and joins in when she wants.
Part-time
Right.
attitude.
Yeah. So I didn't have a sock, so I have made a sock puppet, i.e., a puppet that is a sock out of paper and pipe cleaners. You're welcome.
Is
That
that-
is my nightmare.
Is that a puppet?
Yeah. Look. Oh, hello. My name is Baby Sock.
No, don't do the voice. That is nightmare fuel.
I will
No.
kill you at night time. Top that, bitches.
Nina's looks amazing. I can see from here.
Yeah, is yours a full-blown dragon?
Oh my god, it's got a mohawk.
It
Yeah, it's cool.
started off as a like
I'm
snake,
a snake.
and then it turned into a dinosaur, but it's more dragony, isn't it?
It's a dino-snake. I like it.
I got very excited about it.
Yeah, it's very cool. Rhea, what have you got going on?
He's a mole.
Oh.
Shit, he's lost his glasses.
Do you mean mole in the political sense or the animal? Because I can't tell.
It's look.
Oh, a star-nosed mole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aw.
You're
He's very
holding
cute.
a black thing on
Yeah,
not a very
It is just a
contrasty
void.
background.
It is just a void.
I sent a picture in the chat.
And let us see what you have to offer, Mimu.
Oh,
Oh, is it Jambi?
Yes, I've made a kind of dog, sheep, lamb thing. In fact, the ears came from an old dog toy that he just ripped up today. So I did have a head start with some of the materials, but
It's cute.
not my finest work, but definitely not the nightmare fuel that Bothwell's put together.
Yeah, you're welcome,
Can-
guys.
Mimi, didn't you do some pre-podcast homework of looking up sock puppets for inspiration?
Yes, and they
And-
were so cursed.
They were so cursed. I think we should put them up on our socials and then see if anyone can make a more cursed sock puppet.
That's a great idea.
Send us your sock puppets of doom. Cool. I enjoyed today, guys. That was very fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I like coming back to hear your stories. Oh, what you going to talk about next time?
Oh, let me find the bag.
Sock bag, sock puppet, socks. Let's talk about socks, baby.
got a-
Let's talk about
Hey.
you, baby.
Nice.
I got a million of them. I don't. Just the two. What you
What is
got?
the topic?
Natural disasters.
Oh.
Oh, no. I'm going to combo this one because someone requested natural phenomena. So we'll say natural phenomena because I thought actually natural disasters might just be quite grim.
Yeah, and you could totally do a natural disaster in natural phenomena.
I just
See you,
thought it
Bella.
might be a bit shit if we're all doing really grim things.
Yeah, fair play. Let's keep it light. Cool. Guys, if you've enjoyed today, go back and listen to all our other ones. If you've already listened, listen again. Relearn. Come with us on a journey.
If you
Um,
don't want to re-listen but you want to help us out, just play them on mute, guys. Just
Yeah.
play them on mute.
Just while you're at work.
It
Yeah.
still counts. It still counts.
But get your friends to listen, get your mum to listen, get your dad to listen, get your friends who feel like family to listen. And if they won't, ditch them and get new friends, better
Yeah.
friends.
If
to
they
listen.
won't do what you tell them to, they're not your real friends.
Exactly.
That's toxic.
It's
It's
problematic, isn't it?
horrific. Can you just abuse your friends and family for us? Is that?
Are we cool?
That's
Oh shit, we need a craft as well. Craft. Oh.
I was thinking we haven't done digital drawing for ages.
Ooh,
Sweet.
yeah.
It's right
Yeah,
up my street. Let's do it.
So in the meantime, guys, please do rate, review, subscribe, tell everyone about us. Check us out. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. I know no one cares, but come on, it's still a thing.
What if we Facebook lived our own death? Would people watch then?
Yes, weird deaths. Pick the topic of our death, guys.
Oh my god.
Imagine if it actually happened. Think of the responsibility and guilt you'd feel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun for everyone.
I guess all that's left to say is do not do that anymore.
No!
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for tuning in today, Crumpets. We've loved your company, and join us again next week on The Weirding Hour.
You've changed them from croissants to crumpets.
They're baked goods.
Should have
It's a
led
different experience, but it's still quite good.
It's like listening to
That's
this
what
podcast.
she said. No.
That's our new tagline.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Spread the weird.
Nice.